Okay, guys, so this is our block days of work, and I'm going to do two separate videos. So this one's going to be for my sophomores. Um, let's see here. So let's get right into it. All right, so viewing your homepage. Hopefully everything has been going swimmingly. And notice that I still don't have a link to this because I'm making it right now. So you're going to close read The Sniper by Liam O'Flaherty. And when I say close read, I expect you to either use the physical or digital copy that you're going to have options to. And you're going to annotate that copy. So you're either going to you're going to make a copy of the digital one and use the highlight feature in Google Docs and annotate as you read. Or you're going to take that physical copy from the sub and you're going to get a highlighter out. And remember, if you don't have your own highlighters, I have highlighters for you in those bins in the sink. Grab a highlighter and you're going to highlight as you read. And what I'm expecting you to do today is really focus on little, main pieces of this story, because you do have a quiz on it tomorrow. And if you really focus on the story, the quiz is very, very simple. It's not a hard quiz at all. It's basically a quiz saying, did you read this? It doesn't go into deep meaning or deep comprehension. It's just basically, did you read it to the point where, oh, I saw that somewhere in the reading. Let me go find it. That's how that quiz is going to go tomorrow. So I expect you to read through this and annotate fully. And then I expect you to read it one more time, read the story one more time. So you have about two readings, if not three, two full readings before you take this quiz tomorrow. And it should be a relatively easy quiz. So let's go ahead. I'm going to show you what you're doing. So in modules, you go to Unit 1. I'm going to call this prep because we're not actually in Unit 1 yet for our curriculum, but I'm not there to kind of walk you through that. So this is the best I could do. So here's the way it looks on your end. So first, choose either to receive a physical copy or make a digital copy of The Sniper. This is your choice. The sub will have the physical copies. If you don't want a physical copy and you want to go to the digital route, so you don't lose it, because if you go the digital route, you won't lose it. If you don't have your computer yet, I'm sorry you weren't here that day. You're going to have to deal with the physical copy unless you've gotten it. I don't know how that has worked. But then I'm going to show you how to do the digital copy. So if you don't want to do the physical, digital, click here to make a copy of The Sniper. Replace the words copy of with your first initial and last name. So I'm going to click on this link. It's going to throw you to this. I want to make a copy. And up here in the title, it says copy of The Sniper. I don't want to see copy of, I want to see your name there. So when you submit it, I can see that. So you just click up here in the title and now you can actually edit the title. And you're going to put your first initial. It's moving a little slow. Moving really slow. Okay, here we go. What is going on here? Remove copy of B. Malandruco. That's what I want you to do. I don't know why it took so long to do that. That's weird. All right, so now we're going to get to reading and annotating. And even those of you with the physical copy, I'm going to do this here. And if you want to follow me for the first 2 or 3 paragraphs, you can. So when I go back to my Canvas site, I know that's Canvas because it's got the little circle right there. Close reading The Sniper. When I say close read, I'm requiring you to annotate, which means to highlight as you read. Focus on the following: dates, places, names, main events, or any ideas that you think will help you understand the story. So I'm going to go back over here. Whoops, go away. This thing gets in the way sometimes. There we go. And if this is too small for you, remember you've got your magnification right here, and you can always make it nice and big. There we go. So The Sniper. The title's always very important. If you've never highlighted a title before, I would do so. The title sometimes gives you an insight about what's going on in the story, especially with a poem. In a poem, title is always like pristine stuff to remember. So the long June twilight faded into night. Dublin. So I'm in Ireland. If you didn't know that, you can always look at when you're doing readings for me and you get to read a name of a place that you're like, I have no clue where that is. I'm perfectly fine with you looking it up. You just can't do that on tests, obviously. But anytime you're reading anything else, look it up if you need to. But Dublin is in Ireland. Dublin lay enveloped in darkness for the dim light of the moon that shone through fleecy clouds, casting a pale light as of approaching dawn over the streets and the dark waters of the Liffey. Don't know what that is either, but again, I can highlight it and I can go look it up later. Ooh, wrong button. See what I did there? I clicked the text color button. So I'll just put that back on black. This is my highlighting button. Click on that. I'm going to highlight that. And I'm going to do twilight too. So I know what time of day it is. It's twilight. Around the beleaguered four courts, excuse me, the heavy guns roared. All right. I'm going to assume we're in some kind of battle. Here and there through the city, machine guns and rifles broke the silence of the night. Spasmodically, like dogs barking on lone farms, Republicans and Free Staters were raging a civil war. All right, civil war is going on in Ireland. So if you don't know what civil war means, it means a war between the same, people, basically. When there was a civil war here in the United States between the North and the South, it's when the country itself is raging war against each other. Spasmodically, word I don't hear very often. So when you are on a digital copy, what's really great for you is you have access to direct definitions. So I can put my cursor over top of this word. I don't have to select it. I can just put my cursor over top the word, take 2 fingers on the mouse pad and click at the same time. And I get this. And I have to go down here to define. I can define spasmodically. Ooh, it doesn't have a spasmodic. Let's take the ollie, the suffix off of it. There we go. Occurring or done in brief, irregular bursts. Spasmodic fight continued. So anytime, ollie, you should know that that's a suffix to change a particular word from like an adjective to a noun or a noun to a verb. I don't think you can change a noun to a verb, but you know what I mean. And I would just take that suffix off and now I can look that word up. So same thing with this word if I want to. Define. Oh, so that's nothing else too. I'd have to maybe look at that one. Waters of the Liffey. That might be a place in Dublin since it's capitalized. I have to look that up. On the rooftop near O'Connell Bridge. All right, so we're on O'Connell Bridge. A Republican sniper lay watching. Beside him, so he's Republican. Beside him lay his rifle, and over his shoulder was slung a pair of field glasses. His face was the face of a student. All right, so he's young, very young, but his eyes had the cold gleam of the fanatic. Okay. They were deep and thoughtful, the eyes of a man who is used to looking at death. He's a good sniper. So even though he's young, he has the eyes of a fanatic. So I would do eyes of a fanatic. When you're a fanatic at something, you tend to do it a lot and you like it. Used to looking at death. So he's a good sniper. And to go a little further with this, I can take this piece right here, used to looking at death, and give myself a little comment. He was although young, he was a good sniper. Now, if you're using the physical copy and you come down to this, you should have a little bit of room to like write right here. And you can take your notes. I'm sorry. Bless me. You can take your pencil or pen. And when you see things like that and it makes you think of something like, oh, he must have been good, write it on the paper. He's a good sniper. He's young, but he's good. And you're going to continue on through here. I'll do one more paragraph. He was eating a sandwich hungrily. He had eaten nothing since morning. He had been too excited to eat. All right, so he was really hungry. He had eaten nothing since the morning. He had been too excited to eat. So of these 3 sentences, I don't think it really means much that he's eating now. But I think the author uses the fact that he says he's eating hungrily now, that he hasn't eaten anything since morning, because he had been too excited. So I wonder what he was so excited for. He had been too excited to eat. I'm going to highlight that one. That one seems like the more crucial of the 3 sentences that could mean something. He finished the sandwich and, taking a flask of whiskey from his pocket, he took a short pull of the whiskey. So we got whiskey involved. He's got a flask of whiskey. Got it. And he's young, but war turns boys to men, I guess. Then he returned the flask to his pocket. He paused for a moment, considering whether he should risk a smoke. Risk a smoke. Why would smoking be a risk? Obvious dangers, but still, why would smoking be a risk? It is dangerous, it says. Smoking is dangerous. The flash might be seen in the darkness, and there were enemies watching. He decided to take the risk. So he likes to live on the, he decided to take it. I guess he really needed that smoke. So the flash might be seen by enemies watching. So basically other enemy snipers is what I can go ahead and guess, because this is called the sniper. And I know he's the sniper, but just because the Republicans have a sniper doesn't mean the Free Staters we're going to not have a sniper. So he took the risk. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. Again, you can copy what I've got done so far. That's perfectly fine. But this is what I mean by closed reading. So notice that I kind of read a sentence or 2 or 3, and then I go back and look at them and say, okay, I'm going to do this one. I'm going to, I'm going to highlight this part, this part, this part. I'm not going to highlight this part. I'm pulling apart. I'm analyzing as I read. This is not reading for enjoyment. That is what you have your independent reading book for. Although I'm going to ask you questions about that too, but not as in depth as this. You are reading this knowing you're taking a test on it. Just like when you read the text for FSA, you're reading that text because you know you're going to take a test on it. So this is how you must read to take a test on something. This is how you must read to learn the little bitty skills as you go. So again, whether you're doing this digitally or physically, highlighting a piece of paper, it's still the same thing. You're just using different tools. When you're done, come back over here to Canvas. To submit this assignment, you will either show me your annotated physical copy when I get back, or turn in your digital annotated copy to the My Drives tab. So you would click Start Assignment, excuse me. Start Assignment pulls up these different tabs for you. You need to use the Google Drive tab. This one's not going to be able to view me as a student because I'm not connected to the your Google bit. And if you're not able to actually connect your Google Drive to, oh, look, it did show mine. So there we go, select file. Second tab's better. I forgot about that. Pulls this up, and then usually the thing that you were working on, the most recent, is the first thing that pops up. You would just click it, you would click add, you would click attach, and you can give me some comments, and you would just click submit assignment. So you want to use that second Google Drive tab. If it's not acknowledging that you have a Google Drive, that means we have to go through our settings in your account and set up your Google Drive. And I will do that when we get back. As long as you have this done, just because you don't have it submitted, as long as you have it done, you will be fine when I get back and I get you all set up. So once that's done, if you go back to your home screen, notice in Wednesday and Thursday's account, I have said, read the story one more time. You're in this class for a good bit. You have plenty of time to really read and annotate and break it down step by step, and then read it one more time while you're sitting in class. After you've done that, the only acceptable things that you can do for me is anything that you haven't done yet that's on this particular bit here. Read a book that you possibly might have, or if you want to write something in your writing section of your journal past that CW2, and you just want to write and try your hand at writing some narratives or something different, I'm okay with that. So that is the gist of today and what we're doing. And I hope that um, this proves to be a very nice prep of learning how to annotate, learning how to um, turn in a copy if you do a digital copy on Canvas, and you'll get to see the quiz tomorrow. And it should be relatively easy. And I do let you use your physical or digital copy to take the quiz. So just make sure if you do the digital or the physical copy, you don't lose it. Okay, please don't lose it. All right, y'all have a great day, and hopefully I'll get to see you next week.